Today we're doing a talent tree review from Star Wars Age of Rebellion for the Diplomat career. So, the Diplomat's Quartermaster talent tree is similar to the Colonist Sourcebook's Entrepreneur, where they earn money in a couple different ways, and then they use that money as a resource to do things. So first of all, Quartermaster, that's like a military job, right? So they are a bit more physically minded, which makes sense, basic training and whatnot. Or at least they can be, because they have a section of the talent tree which is separated both thematically and structurally from the rest of the talent tree. That focuses mostly on making them physically and mentally tough in a, well, I guess, pretty generic way. It's mostly grit and toughened, which helps you with your strain and wound threshold, respectively, but also some help with your basic defenses. But more importantly, there's one talent, a lovely little talent, one of my favorites in the game, perhaps. Because of your good focus power, you can just get help with any check, just because you're good at focusing. So that could be useful to anyone. In fact, one of those talents where it might be worth it if you have the extra points and you don't really have any other tree you're interested in. I might even recommend taking this tree just for that talent. Anyway, great talent adds a bit of variety to them, which is wonderful. They also have the talent, which was awesome, a huge part of Entrepreneur, where they just get free money. They just get free money every session, which is wonderful. They don't have nearly as many ranks as Entrepreneur does, but of course it all stacks. It's a ranked talent. And if you combine them, which someone in my group did, they played a character which combined both trees. And so he has a total of 7 ranks of that talent. He just gets an ass ton of money. I think it's... Wait, what? Carry the one? Yeah, 1 ass ton of money every single session. Awesome. Now that's not their only way to get money, of course. They get a big bonus to selling stuff as well as a discount to buying stuff. So that can be great. Get extra money, save money. In fact, they get even more of a bonus with another talent, more of a bonus when selling stuff, assuming that it's legal stuff. They both focus on legal stuff. They both have about as much capability on the whole buying and selling thing and extra money in that regard, at least. But Quartermaster does have a bit of an edge in rarity manipulation, where when purchasing certain items, they can manipulate the rarity. It makes it easier to purchase those items. Same talent as the Entrepreneur, just more of it, so they have a bit of an edge there. Now, where the Entrepreneur has the edge from the Colonist Sourcebook is actually taking that money, the extra money that you earn, and using it as a resource, which was the fun, flashy thing that Entrepreneur could do. And also a big part of the Quartermaster as well, but they're just not quite as good at it as the Entrepreneur. They do have some of the same talents. They have, let's see, not a big fan of this talent. They just buy off a knowledge check. That's it. They just buy it off, which I guess I'm a bit more okay with it in this tree, because with Entrepreneur, it was a bigger part of what the Entrepreneur was. The intellect, the knowledge skills, it made a bit more sense to focus on it. Not really because of the talent so much as they just had the ability to double up on more knowledge skills. That was basically it. There's a bit more of an overall focus on knowledge skills, so it made even less sense to have a talent which allowed you to just not do a knowledge skill. You were more capable of doing it, so it makes a bit more sense here for what it's worth. I'm still not a fan. But as always with this check, if you roll well, you're gonna get more information. You're gonna do better than with this. So keep that in mind. Now the big one, the one I liked that deals with using money as a player resource, is the talent that allows you to spend money in exchange for making you better with your talking checks. And this is a ranked talent, so if you do want to double up and take both these trees, they'll stack and that'll be helpful, which is good because I really like Entrepreneur. I do. I just always wish there was one little last thing that helped you using your money as a resource. Just one more thing. One more. Well, one more that I liked, because they do have one talent which thematically I like where you just use money to help you with a group rule, but it's not in here. There's no duty version of it here, the way it helped you with obligation. But really what I wanted was something that helped you with more regular gameplay. And without it, and of course without the group rule manipulation talent, it's even less exciting than the entrepreneur was in that regard. As far as general talking goes, they each get a talent that's very similar to the other. In both cases, it helps a lot with negotiation checks, as well as another check. And there's a big high cost to it. You can't use it that often, but it'll help at the right moment. And it has a pair of talents, which I'm not a big fan of when it comes to the whole talking thing, but it's the trade triumph for successes thing. Not only am I exhausted talking about that talent, I am exhausted talking about how I'm exhausted talking about that talent. It's fine, it can be useful in a pinch. Sometimes you just want to succeed. Triumph can help you succeed when you normally wouldn't. And also successes can get certain information that an advantage or triumph couldn't, I think, probably. I'll have to look it up again. Anyway, it's fine. The fact that we get more of them than the other talent that Entrepreneur gets that helps with talking kind of certainly helps, and I think it just kind of helps in a bigger way. Far more likely to be useful. So yeah, a slight edge with Quartermaster as a talker. But other than that, they just have the pay money to talk better talent, along with the Entrepreneur. So they're kind of mirrored. They're kind of similar in a way. Anyway, my point is, let's get the thing out of here. Overall, as far as just as a general talker and potential, using your talking checks to convince people of things and getting them to do what you want, Quartermaster is in between the Agitator and the Ambassador. Not as good as the Agitator, they get so much help with coercion checks, but a little better than the Ambassador, assuming you got the money to spend, which of course you do, because you're a Quartermaster. However, I would say I do like the Ambassador better. The Ambassador is a better tree. Quartermaster probably the weakest of the three, because really, it's made for a specific playstyle, and Entrepreneur is just plain better at it. But if you're playing Age of Rebellion and you want a talker slash buyer and seller of things, or if you want a supplemental tree to Entrepreneur, then Quartermaster's not a bad way to go. If you do decide to go with the Quartermaster, let's talk builds. Okay, so, presents. No shit. Negotiation is most commonly used with buying and selling and negotiating and all that. Sometimes cool, but mostly negotiation. So yeah, you're going to want a high presence for that. Though with the Triumphs to Success talent, you actually have some flexibility in terms of what skill check that can apply to. So you can spread your wings, your talking wings, a little bit. Also, the Diplomat's career skills are going to help you a bit more with that. I would say you're best off with a 4 in that, and then whatever else you want. There's not much else to really focus on. Maybe intellect. They get computers as a career skill, which is not all that common. And as a diplomat, they have a lot of knowledge skills as career skills, so maybe you could be computer knowledge guy on the side, but not a whole lot of talents to work with that. Just the one that allows you to avoid knowledge checks.